What is a fear of the Lord? It's a really good question. It's a very important question to answer. And the reason that question is so important to answer is, well, the Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7, that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So if we are to even begin to get knowledge, we must possess a fear of the Lord. And in order to possess a fear of the Lord, obviously we need to understand what that is. We can't possess it if we don't know what it is. It's just not possible. So I'm going to tell you today what I've learned so far in my albeit short journey as to what the fear of the Lord is. I'll start by telling you what it is not. And I've got to be careful in how I choose my words here, because I'm not going to say that it doesn't involve any kind of true fear in the sense of being scared or the way we would traditionally define fear today, because I do genuinely believe that that is a part of it. But what it is not is any fear in that sense that would in any way, shape, or form push you away from God, make you scared to have a relationship with God. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Think about that for a second. God is not in the business of pushing people away or driving people away. It's quite the opposite. And it's opposite in the way that fear of the Lord is a fear of not having a relationship with God. Going through this crazy roller coaster, figure eight, infinite loop of seasons and ups and downs without God. Without God being the center of our life and gaining knowledge and wisdom along the way. What it also is, fear of the Lord, is, I'll use this analogy as if this was a perfect world, because God is perfect. So we'll need to pretend that your earthly father is perfect, your biological father is perfect for this example. But it's fear of the Lord in the way that you would or should fear your father. You should have a deep reverence and respect for your father. So much so that you want to please your father. Also, if you don't do as commanded or instructed, there are consequences for your actions, for not doing those things. Consequences for doing things that you're not supposed to. So it's no different with your Heavenly Father. You should want to please your Heavenly Father. Understand that there are consequences for your actions with God. Now I realize that's just a couple of examples, and it's a gross oversimplification of the subject at hand, but I genuinely believe that that is something that I will continue to learn more and more about for the rest of my life. Of course, I must seek that to gain that knowledge, but now that I do have a fundamental fear of God, through my understanding of a fear of God, I can continue to gain that knowledge as well as the knowledge of God in general. One thing that I found that helped me a lot was a book called The Awe of God. It really explains a lot more about the fear of the Lord. It does a really good job. It's really easy to read. I read it through as if it were a novel. It is broken down as sort of a daily devotional. You can do it as a daily devotional or read it through. Both work just fine. In fact, I'm going to reread it, and I am going to do it daily. I feel like I'll retain a little more information that way. But it's a very good book. Highly recommend it if you are interested in learning more, a lot more than what I just stated about the fear of God. I will link that book in the description. If you want to check it out, I do highly recommend it. So, never stop seeking the wisdom and knowledge of God. Good talk.